So let's just talk a little bit about what it means to resonate. So what happens is somebody has a sentence, I want happiness. And they write out on the board, I want happiness. And they come up and they give you this word want. And you put it here, or you can hold it, or you can put it anywhere you want to put it. And you just feel what that word means, or what it feels like, or what comes into your head.
I feel confused, that's all I can say.
And strangers can do it for you in this group session. Or a facilitator can do it for you if you want to do a one-on-one session. Most people who've never tried anything like it are able to resonate deeply and powerfully.
So the first time I resonated, I actually missed the instruction portion of it before I was chosen to resonate in the group. And I remember having that moment, maybe almost stage fright, but I thought, oh, I missed the instructions, so I don't know what I'm doing. And I realized really quickly, within seconds, literally, that it didn't matter that I didn't know what I was supposed to do, because you're just sort of dropping into the subconscious field.
When someone's taking a picture of me, I have a hard time smiling or, whatever, but when I'm resonating, it's definitely from within. I'm taking cues from within about how I'm feeling.
It takes a while to trust oneself and getting in touch with the feelings or thoughts and simply reporting without getting too caught up in things that are happening around in the session.
What you do discover is, I'm not a person who cries very much, and yet I'm weeping. But this level of rage that I'm feeling isn't quite my kind of rage. And then when you report it to the facilitator and the subject confirms that's my rage, you start to believe it.
But I never felt like I'm losing myself, or I never felt out of control. I do feel very animated on the inside, and I really enjoy pushing the boundaries of how much I can feel and how much I can be and how much I can resonate even, how intuitive I can be internally, how expressive I can be. All of those things make it a profoundly enlivening experience.
And so there's this whole range of emotions depending on the session and depending on what you're resonating, and it all just kind of hits you by surprise, and you never know what to expect.
I have experienced both physical pain and emotional pain.
There was one time where I felt profoundly sad, and I don't usually cry for myself, but tears were just coming and a sense of wanting to be seen.
Each person is different. It's like the instruments in an orchestra. The bass, deep and powerful, sometimes going to grief and dark, dark places. The piccolo, going to joy, going to all these aspects of yourself.
I think one of my earliest experiences of, wow, this is real, was when I was resonating for somebody, and I forget what the word was, but I was literally thinking about doing ballet, and I was skipping, and I had all this young, girly enthusiasm, and which feels totally different from how I would ever be in my world. And that was the truth for the subject. That was a part of their life when they were at a certain age.
And I started humming. And I had no idea why I was humming during the resonation, but there was information there that was really useful to this person. She had a very clear memory of a time when she was young and she had been bullied very badly at school, and she went into the bathroom, into the stall, and there was a girl in the stall next to her, and she was humming, and that memory was very healing for her.
It seems crazy that just with sentence and words, and everyone is tapping into something so deep and profound about the subject. The things that I've thought or seen and shared that I thought, how could I have known this? It makes absolutely no sense. It's kind of like magic, that I just trust that there's some way we're all connected, we're all tapped in. So yes, I've stopped asking the question of how it works. I just trust that it does.
We've lived our lives in such a way that we've never really conceived of the idea that when we're sitting next to somebody, we're actually picking up a kind of radio waves of what's going on with them. But of course, we're thinking in a way that's Newtonian. We're thinking molecularly. And while people can talk about quantum mechanics, if someone tells you they know about quantum mechanics, they're lying, because none of us really understand it, except we are energy. And that's what does sort of explain this. But forget about the explanations. You've got to try it.
I've noticed changes in my own life, and the excitement that I have about this work comes not only from being the subject, but even resonating. It's definitely a huge part of the process for me.
Generally, there is a high that comes from having completed a session and being part of this connection with the other parts, the other fellow resonators.
You get to share someone else's grief, someone else's joy, someone else's fears, someone else's dreams, totally independent from you, and in some way it helps build your identity. Even as you have this exhilarating feeling of going, oh my God, I'm suddenly experiencing someone else's life.
I think that we have a lot to offer each other in a field of people who are very intentionally and consciously choosing to tap in to that vibration in the room and the vibration of the people around them, or the vibration of a word or even a post-it note. A lot of shifts can happen.
It's hard to break it into one moment. It's all beautiful.